Press Review.
Thank you so much. We are back to the business.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And also we have with us Maxim Ozatu Boroja. Right? I hope I got that right.
Yeah,
He's a
right.
journalist, a poet, and a public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome to Press Review.
Anambra ekene mono.
Was Yamurudike Anambra.
Baka muri ibeyo.
Okay, who fires the first salvo? Like we've marshaled the trending headlines from absradiotv.com before we look at take a look at the national dailies. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. We are back to the business. We are back to the terrain.
Yeah.
In my tradition, I always start from the home.
Yeah. Charity begins at home.
We go to ABS headlines. Two headlines there caught my attention. The operation of Udogachi and the unfortunate killing of 3 siblings at Newi.
Newi, yeah.
First of all, I want to start from the last. I condemn this in total. I don't know, some people have sold their conscience to the devil. I wonder what is always in the minds of people who are perpetrating this kind of heinous crime. How can you murder these 3 siblings and store them in a freezer? What was their offense? What was their sin? You see, what could have happened? And then from the story trending that the parents came back and searched all nooks and crannies of the house, eventually they saw them in the freezer, then does it, because these children are minor, that should, I know there are a lot of laws protecting minors. You can't just leave these children without care, without an adult. If they were left with an adult, who was that adult? If they were left to be, roaming from one room to the other, what measures were put in place to ensure that they don't allow unauthorized visitors to come in? I know these days, some of us train our children to the extent that you don't open door for any stranger at all if mommy and daddy are not around. So I'm happy that the concerned ministry has launched, has stepped into action to, find the perpetrators of this heinous crime and bring them to justice. I sympathize with these kids and I pray that God may accept their innocent soul.
Amen.
Then on the other side of security, the Operation Udogachi that was launched barely 3 weeks ago, we are seeing the effects. And like I said sometime in this program, I think a few days after the launch of this operation, that we don't want this operation to generate. Let them still do it according to, within the ambits of law.
Yeah.
If somebody is arrested, let the person face prosecution the way it should be, and if found wanting, if found guilty, then the person will go in for it. And from what is happening now, I think statistically the rate of kidnapping has reduced.
Yeah.
And if you go to these streams, to these rivers, where these guys come to perform okite, promising people heaven on earth, promising people wealth, you'd see SUVs, series of Porsche cars parked there. Our youth, some of them are even not up to 20 years. The quest for money, the quest for materialism has spoiled the society. So if you go to some of these rivers, it's virtually deserted. Just like Mr. Governor said, and just like in the spirit of the law that set up this operation, the governor respects freedom of worship. People are free to worship whatever they want to worship, but you must know that which you are worshiping.
Yeah.
That you are worshiping must be within the ambits of the law.
Yeah.
You must register those centers so that we know what you are doing. It's not a secret society. People have to know what you are doing. So that if what you are doing does not conform to the law, then the place will be closed. Yeah. So I think with the tempo, I like the tempo of activities in this sector, in this security sector, because we all cry that nothing is happening now. Something is being done. Even some people are even condemning, things that are happening. So I, give kudos when it's not always we criticize when the Mr. Governor, performs creditably well, we also come here and say, yeah, you did this one good.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And when we want to criticize, let it
We
be
criticize constructively. Yeah.
Yes,
We
not
tell our
destructive.
points to say, you did this and we want it to be done this way.
Yeah.
Not criticizing to harm or to, in this place of
Or kind of rabble-rousing.
Yeah.
Boroja, you're there. The ball is in your court.
I want to go further afield in terms of this headline. There's this headline. INEC chairman urges CSOs to monitor party primaries, condemns delegate buying. Coming from Professor Mahmood, seeing the election he held in Nigeria, and is the person now advising CSOs to monitor, I think he should first heal himself. Because that our democracy has all these problems is because INEC has not done its work well.
Exactly.
And Professor Yakubu Mahmood need to be called out. This thing is shifting the goalposts to CSOs and all that.
Yeah.
Even if the other lanes do well, and the head of the stream is still the way it is, we are not going anywhere.
Exactly.
And that's when we have this thing, the problem of legitimacy in terms of the government.
Yeah.
You can see the way the Nigerian nation is wobbling now. No matter whatever anybody prefers to believe or cherish, because maybe you are supporting maybe you are supporting the government in power. It does not lend the proper incentive for anybody to key into the Nigerian project. If we have a democracy without elections, democracy without Democrats, we are having a deep problem in this country. So essentially, Professor Yakubu Mahmood should, if he's serious about it, show example through his own personal and whatever, the way he handles the higher INEC.
Yeah.
Once the thing is done well, it will go down the line.
Yeah.
It's not a question of coming to hound people or shout at people and saying that they should monitor delegates' elections. When even if you monitor the election, eventually the election that is called out at the federal level.
The first time I saw the headlines, I read it and I felt the way you are feeling. Of course, because he's in charge, he's the sheriff.
Yeah.
So it should start from him. Let the change
Try to
start
from
me and trickle down the line.
Exactly.
So if they don't buy votes, if they don't buy delegates, and at the end of the day, we don't get the expected result, and our votes don't count. So where do we go from there? Yeah. Okay. If you want to join the conversation, call us on 0904 9560 826.
Or you can call us on 0706 538 1320. You can as well send us messages on our Facebook, on Anambra Broadcasting Service, and live stream. We'll do well to read out your comments when we see them. Hello? Someone is here.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Roy Ekunise.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Ebolam and the guests in the studio. Good morning to you.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
This is the voice of Blessing, and I'm calling from Oka.
Okay.
And I want to just say something. I'm a patriotic Nigerian, and I want this forthcoming election to be properly, handled with every form of documentation. Because I read a statement this morning from one of the daily websites, where the APC chairman was worried about Anambra election. Because Anambra is not an easy go area, not by our own part, but by the grace of God. Because if I could openly said what happened in Edo State, because I read it publicly, you can go and find when he was doing Ondo election, he said that the mistake he made in Edo State would not repeat itself in Ondo State. Because he has passed a vote of no confidence on himself. He knew what happened in Edo State was wrong. He didn't come in the election, try to, make everything. He left into this state and said that the election, Ondo will not repeat the mistake again. And what happened to Ondo State? Some people, Anambra, will be very careful. Because, try to say this, and I keep on saying it, that INEC has become a tool in the hand of the APC. What maybe I now prove it to you. So, because, very, very prepared with documentation, and please, Anambra, this is not time for vote buying. Vote for people who are credible in this election to continue to go on with the continuity of what's going on. Please, leave my money. Money vote buying election should be contest. Let us go for people who are very credible to work to carry on. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I was about saying begin to conclude, as if to read my mind. You just concluded. Okay, any other person there? Well, I will now move over to the national dailies, and we kick starting with this one, that's Daily Times. From Daily Times, NIME predicts early rainfall events in Nigeria. Keyamo unveils 2025 seasonal climate prediction. Money politics will destroy APC. That's from Ganduje. VP Shetima pushes for coordinated efforts to boost Nigeria's economy. Still trending here. Plateau government inaugurates Plateau governor inaugurates 5 new commissioners. FCTA approves major infrastructure projects. And finally, CBN says external reserves dropped by $1.19 billion in 3 weeks.
Right, moving on to the next national daily, Nigerian Tribune. We have 29 states moved speakers in 26 years. Used criticisms against Nigeria to prioritize development coming from Obi. Nigeria to experience severe dry spell of over 27 to 40 days in some areas coming from federal government. Lists Delta, Bayelsa, Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Lagos, 7 other states to witness early rain. Coming from that's a report from NIMET. Still on Nigerian Tribune, FEC approves 758 billion naira to clear pension liabilities. Okays £30 million concessional loan to support students' housing projects. 80 billion naira for reconstruction, expansion of a low dam in Bonu. 126 billion naira for MRI, CT scanners at OAU, others. Federal government says US, UK patients now seek medical care in Nigeria. That's on page 4. Brain drain, Nigerian doctors earn less than cleaners abroad, coming from Afe Babalola. Police arraign suspended Ogun traditional ruler over assault, threat to life. Court grants him bail. Gunmen attack bus, abduct travelers in Ondo. Obership crisis, Adeleke only followed process met on ground coming from Osun government. Riders say releases details on Osaoke, Ido Oyegunle communal crisis. Says 2005 document affirms Owa Obokun as prescribed authority over Ido Oyegunle.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, from The Guardian, APC moves indirect primary ahead of Anambra gubernatorial pool. GSC meeting ends in deadlock as parties disagree on Obasanjo's fate. EFCC arraigns 11 Chinese for alleged cyber fraud. Orders, FG NAD CMD's orders, Beaker over state of health sector good rating. 4 oil firms post 386 billion naira profits amid uncertainty security concerns. First Lady donates 100 million naira to Niger tanker explosion victims, visits IBB Abdul Salami. A PFN declares national rebuff, vows to expose corrupt leaders. World Cancer Day, FG to explore health insurance for cancer. Senate threatens to arrest IGP, Customs CG, FIRS, NNPCL, CBN heads over audit snub. Okay, these are the trending ones from The Guardian this morning.
Okay, from Daily Trust, Obasani El-Rufai defer over Tinubu. Have northern states to experience delayed rainfall coming from Kayamo. Motorists to pay 500 naira, 1,600 naira toll-free on Abuja-Makurdi Highway. Gunmen abduct 10 passengers in Ondo. 165 illegal immigrants arrested in Kebbi. Teacher dismissed for impregnating students in Ekiti. KEDCO confirms sack of 450 workers. Finally, on Daily Trust, Rep summon FCT director over land racketeering. The training stories from Daily Trust.
And from the Punch, before we get back to the analysts, PDP Secretary Awike Kam writes Supreme Court ahead of BOT meeting. Lagos Assembly may write Tinubu over Obasa GSC members. Government releases power tariff hike guidelines for discos. Tax reform. Reps set for fresh debate. Hold closed door sessions. Marketers may dump NNPCL as price war with Dangote rages. Dealers adopt MRS logo to access cheaper Dangote petrol. Consider NNPCL franchise suspension. DR Congo soldiers, rebels clash, death toll hit over 900. Death toll rises to 15 in Ebonyi community herdsmen killings. Police arraign suspended Ogun monarch, hunt accomplices. And finally, gunmen kidnapped 7 Ondo travelers, 27 suspects arrested. Back to the analysts in the studio. As you can see, we have so many to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go there. Oh, let's welcome this caller before you come in again. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Japago.
Keep your calls coming and keep dropping your comments on Facebook, Anambra Broadcasting Service. We do want to read them out when we see them.
Okay, let's take the story on Tribune. FEC approves 758 billion naira to clear pension liabilities. Okay, it's $30 million constitutional loan to support students. You know, sometimes there are some news items I will see. I'll ask whether this is really necessary. You are doing your statutory work. Pensioners are not dead wolves. They will be taken care of.
Yeah.
So I will not start clapping for the government for paying pensioners, because this is just like paying salaries. And I get pissed when I see people who have retired, who are supposed to be enjoying the fruits of their former labor, then moving from one office to the other, begging for peanuts, you know, simply because their pension and the other allowances, gratuities are being unnecessarily delayed. You are not supposed to suffer to this extent to enjoy what you're supposed to enjoy as a pensioner. So, when I look at them, as onye follow oru follow ebe ji mbazue ni oru ibie makwa na etu aka ọ ga-adị ya, because we will all retire one day and become pensioners and start facing the same music these people are facing.
Yeah.
So when I see them, I also think of my own future. How is it going to be when I'm retired and begging for what I'm entitled to? So please, government should do something in this direction to please alleviate the plight of pensioners who have not committed any crime for working for 35 years or for working and attaining the retirement age and bowed out meritoriously, only for them to find it hard to assess what they ordinarily used to be taking care of themselves. Then I move to the other story. The brain drain, Nigerian doctors earn less than cleaners abroad, according to Afe Babalola. Well, we've not seen, this is headline, so we've not seen the details of this headline to actually see where, this man I respect so much got his analysis from. I don't know how Nigerian doctors abroad will be earning less than cleaners abroad, because you are being paid as a doctor, as a professional. You commit several hours on duty, and you are paid according to that level you have attained. So I don't know how a cleaner working in a mall, working in an eatery, or working in the same hospital that this doctor is working will be earning more, and the other person is earning less. There are stories we are told in those days when most of us didn't travel out. They say, so we have also traveled out. We have also seen these things that in those days they tell us as if it doesn't exist or it's hard to fathom.
So if it's like that, why are they traveling to that country to do what they are doing.
Because,
Why the Japa syndrome?
No, the Japan syndrome is for such a greener pasture. Then he's there as a medical doctor. He's doing the work of a medical doctor. It's not that he went there and started doing other many jobs. From what I read here, he's also doing job of a medical doctor overseas. So
and not getting commensurate remuneration.
No, he may not be commensurate, but not to compare to the status of a cleaner. That a cleaner then now earns more than that medical doctor. I find it difficult to believe. I also seen people who have Japa who are doing some of these jobs. Yes, the Japa, because of search for greener pasture, that they didn't see much here. But in the course of that, even though they may not earn what is may be commensurate, but not to the extent of comparing them to cleaners working in factories, working in malls, working in eateries.
Then I will switch to being a cleaner.
I think what
if that is the case,
the salaries of Nigerian doctors here, it's like it's not even up to what cleaners earn.
Okay.
Abroad.
It's making sense. Okay.
What they pay the doctors here monthly, and what they pay cleaners abroad is not the same.
You are right.
That cleaners earn more abroad than doctors here in Nigeria. That's why we have brain drain and people migrating from Nigeria to those countries to start getting jobs as health workers or even as medical doctors over there.
You are right.
More than
as far as money they pay.
Yes. You are right. Cleaners, security men work 12 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. If you compare what they earn abroad, it's more than what a medical doctor, even a professor.
Okay.
Even a professor, not just in Nigeria. If you are working as a security man and you are paid $20 per hour, and you're working 8 hours in a day, that's almost $160 in a day, and they convert it to the exchange rate. So in 2 weeks, maybe he's running 4 days shift or 5 days shift. It's not a 7 days affair.
Yeah.
So $160 times 4 or times 5, as the case may be, taking to our exchange rate, is very much more higher than what a professor earns here.
Yeah,
that's a good analysis. So if I go by that.
Yeah, Boroja.
There's this in the Punch. Marketers may dump NMPCL as price war with Dangote Regis. They say, look, fuel is the destiny of any nation and all that.
Yeah.
Like when Mr. President came that this subsidy is gone, and then we have had all this confusion just reigning supreme in the country. Now we are hearing that NNPC and whatever, they are doing price war. And look, if you are serious as a country, if you want to have competition, you should have real competition.
Yeah.
Where if you are selling for, you allow anybody so that you're only a regulatory person. So anybody wants to buy, can buy from anybody. But in this case, you create a monopoly, and now you're telling me there's price war and all that. It's just like enriching some people.
Yeah.
They can come together and decide to fix a price, and this one says I'm fixing maybe -1 naira.
Yeah.
The other guy, and this thing continues to happen often, and you ask, where is the regulatory body?
Yeah.
They are all in the take, and the poor masses of Nigerians, because the fuel is not a question of only the person, because commuters are the people paying the highest.
Yeah.
Anytime there's any kind of change or something like that, some place you may go with say 200 and the next thing is 500.
Exactly.
And all that impinges on the economy. And we find that we don't have a responsive government, especially at the federal level, where you have to put some of these things in proper place.
Yes.
Where if you earn a salary, you can know that it can last for you for up to but when these things change anyhow because of the fuel price, then we are neither here nor there.
Okay, in a fear-driven economy,
Yes,
it's biting hard.
it's biting hard. No, today you may call me for a program and I say, look,
It moves like a vicious circle because it affects every other sector
thing
of the economy.
Yes.
And then Senate threatens to arrest IGP, Customs CG, FIRS, NNPCL, CBN heads over audit snub. Will Senate work its talk
This is just why threaten? Why threaten? If you want to do your job, you do your job. If I come here and I tell you, oh, Roy, I will come and arrest you tomorrow. That's I just talk. If you feel you have this thing as a body that you hold this thing up to, if you want to arrest, arrest. If you don't want to, like they say in the film, if you want to shoot, shoot. Don't talk.
Yeah. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
The threat is a signal for brown envelope. So I have threatened you, I will arrest you, you will come to the defense. So they all know what this threat stands for. So you say, okay, you have not come to do your brown envelope, then you go and do your brown envelope, because after all this stress, after all this that your budget will not be approved because of this, eventually those things will still be approved without anything you remove from there. So those things that you see as having K-leg, then suddenly that K-leg is threatened, and it goes like that. So let's talk about this threat. Do your job, and if
like this story you have just read now, you won't see any follow up about the arrest again. So like what he's saying, you just see that it's just like man, no man, oh boy, you have not come around though. Then you come around and settle, and then everything goes on.
Okay, someone is here. Hello, good morning.
Happy of the East.
Champions.
The voice of JC Afobi. I'm connecting this morning from Umuatolo Gideon Masunumu Rokebo in Anambra, East local government of the state.
All right, go on.
It's my pleasure. The guest in the house, Ekelekwa Munu. Is threatening NYC, WCC, whatever name. They are just acting like it is urban developers or whatever. They'll come to mark your house. So they, go and find out those houses they mark. If after a while, if the job don't continue, or if they will demolish it, even if you are building at the center of the road. So I think what they are calling for is for their own site, for their own quarter. So we know them. We know where they are coming from. Then the price crisis, between NNPC, Dangote, Dantata, the problem remains that these people have thrown Nigerians up to become criminals. Being a civil servant, being a businessman, being into politics and religion. In Nigeria today, if you are not a criminal or a son of a criminal, you don't eat. I mean, you don't eat 3 square meal. And it is really getting harder and harder. So, if that is the way to go, people are equipping themselves today. Not only with virus now, but with the guns and the whole rubbish in the God's life. God will help.
All right.
Amen. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Move away from your radio set and call us back. We can't get what you say.
Hello.
This is the studio. I called back. This is Daniel Benson coming from Oka.
Good morning.
Good morning, Daniel Benson from Oka. It is very laughable to hear from one of the because that UK and other countries come here for medical tourism. It is laughable to this day. If that is the reason, why does our president and our other government officials go abroad for medical tourism? Since they now come to Nigeria, what hospital we have in this country? And I just want to know that the US has withdrawn from WHO. It's very, very terrible for this country. I just say God help us, the common masses. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for making it snappy too. Yeah. Okay, let's any other comment before we move over to the we just have 2 more national dailies left. So okay, somebody's here. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
My name is Jay, director, journalist.
It's noisy where you are. If you want to call us, move away from your radio set. The reverb is somehow distorting. Please obey the rules. Play by the rules of the game. Okay, let's look at Vanguard. From Vanguard, alarm as cattle target teenage girls for organ harvesting. Outlines of the nefarious lucrative trade in Nigeria. how young girls are snared into donating eggs. International Federation of Fertility Societies rail against the practice. Victims narrate ordeal. Police bungle reported cases. NAPTIP canvasses enlightenment campaign in schools. Others. NCAA gives Kenya Airways 48 hours to apologize for passengers' maltreatment. FG flags off tolling on federal highways. FG to take over incomplete Lagos-Ibadan Expressway sections by April. That's from Umahi. Ihana Acho faces Borofans rejection. These are the trending ones from today's. Okay, I just have three more. Lagos Assembly crisis bid to oust Obasa's successor hits brick wall. The GSC briefs Tinubu. I never said Tinubu, Akume, Kalu were corrupt when I was EFCC chairman. That's from Ripadu. Rufai slams Governor Sani over sycophantic support for Tinubu. FD to roll out 7 million smart meters in 2025.
All right, finally from Daily Independent, economic reforms working 2025 is to consolidate on all programs, says Minister. Delegates buy-in. INEC calls for, we've done that, to have gunmen strike again in Ondo, abduct 10 travelers. Motorists to pay maximum of 1,600 naira as federal government commences toll collection on Abuja-Makurdi Road. Others to be commissioned soon in 6 geopolitical zones. CDS advocates non-kinetic approach in achieving 2.5 million barrel per day crude production target. Meets NSA, IOCs, NNPCL, all producing states, others. Federal government to raise 758 billion naira bond to clear backlog of pension liabilities. With that on that, Mba ends multiple taxation, signs into law bill to create one-stop shop for taxation. And agriculture, Tinubu has taken us back to what we know how to do best. Coming from Ododo, riders say dedicates independent award to Kogi people. State has spent over 9 billion naira in agriculture coming from FAO. State Senate moves against IGP, FIRS, NNPCL, CBN, others may issue arrest warrant. Tinubu approves the construction of Alao Dam in Borno at 80 billion naira, declines assents to Federal University of Education Numan bill. These are trending stories from the national dailies, and that's all from the national dailies this morning.
Okay, back to the analysts in the studio.
Okay, to the story on Vanguard, alarm as cartel target teenage girls for organ harvesting.
Yeah.
The organ harvesting is always trending, and it's now a lucrative business for these perpetrators. And they will keep on getting their prey because their prey have refused to listen and refused to take useful advice. Every day, now and then, you hear stories about girls or teenage girls who are lured. Some were lured into a hotel, killed, organs harvested. But tomorrow, it will not deter another teenage girl from doing the same thing. Prostitution is on increase. Ego Mabute is now something that is common between the two sexes. So it's no longer a male affair. It's no longer it used to be male affair, but now female are also into it. So parents, I still put this on the door of parents and guardians. Mind the company your children keep. I wonder how somebody will just go to Lagos. Daddy, I'm going to Lagos. I want to go and hustle. Within 2 months, he's coming back with a very big car. Yeah, somebody I can just make it within 2 months. And the parents will jubilating. If we were singing at Mamanya, you are just being jealous of my children's achievement. What fucking achievement? Ask questions. What are these people doing? Everybody wants to emulate the big man there, here and there. But sometimes you don't know what it took this man to have this investment. So I also encourage the law enforcement agencies, who have been tracking these people, perpetrating this menace, I think if you read the crime diary, you see a lot of efforts being made in that direction to clamp down on this cartel. It's a very big and powerful cartel, and they have a series of connections. Just like the kidnapping is also a very big cartel. If you are kidnapped, they will hand you over to this person, and that person will hand you over to this another person. So they keep on handing you over. So you don't even know how
relay race of kidnapping.
Of course, the chain. It happens in chain. So you don't even know where to start. And you can imagine the story that we read yesterday. Somebody that a kidnapper that was arrested after 30 million ransom was paid. This man only got 200,000 naira from this 30 million ransom. So who takes the bulk of the money? The big guys who are sponsoring this. So please, parents, we should do the needful. It's a time will not always allow us. Better we, leave this for another day. Thank you.
Right.
There's this story in the Vanguard. AFG to take over incomplete Lagos-Ibadan Expressway sections by April.
Yeah.
For as long as I've been alive, they have been doing this Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The same way you have Enugu-Onitsha Expressway and all. The same federal government will now start a so-called coastal route of trillions of. Why can't we be serious for once in this country? These federal routes are nightmares across. I wouldn't say, because people will tell you say maybe marginalization of the east. Across everywhere. If you want to go to Bomosho in the west, it's like a death wish. Now you are taking over, say you are taking over by April, the incomplete sections. Who have been constructing the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway? Fashola, during his time, the 8 years of Buhari, every day was Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The thing is still incomplete up to today. Now we are now in this again. What's the use of all this rigmarole? Even there are things you tell even children will laugh at you. So please, get over this and get it done with so that we can go to the next one.
Yeah.
If you do that, like this Enugu-Onitsha and all these other things, you do all the federal route. Why start all these other ones about coastal route? We are now talking about Badagry to Sokoto and all that. Whereas the internal federal routes across the nation, all the arteries of commerce are down and out. Please, there is need for the government to wake up in terms of the construction of all these routes. For instance, you come to Anambra here, you will see the state roads very motorable and being done very well.
Yeah.
Then when you veer into the so-called federal road and everything, thanks to the governor now that he's taking over the Anambra to Imo State border road.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will see that this is a death trap, and that's something that everybody uses. So please, I'm begging the federal government to come and do the federal routes.
All right.
Some people are watching us live on Facebook. Let's give them their credit because they deserve it. Anthony Omera is watching from Zamfara. Otutu Oma, Ndi Omam Mono, Ndi Anambra. Tony Anayo Omumere. Good morning, my people. Yeah, well, this is where we draw the curtain on today's press review. And we want to thank you for coming, Boroja Maxim Ozato. Boss Yamudika number.
Maka Amuribeya.
Oh, yes.
That sounds like my elder brother's voice. So if I maybe what's the man doing?
Okay.
Right, so also want to thank you, Comrade Bonnie Ozonkwako. Dalorine, thanks for coming on Press Review this morning.
Thank you, Isabel Madi.
Join us again at 9 on Unzuka Anambra, and today we will have the distinguished presence of Comrade Don Oyenji, Commissioner for Culture, Entertainment and Tourism, and we'll be talking about making Anambra State attractive for tourism. Be a part of it. Thanks for joining us on Press Review.
And I'm Uche Chukwu Ebonam. Don't go anywhere.